Next film that I saw was Halloween.
Yeah, I want to hear about this one too.
Okay. Do you
So
know?
I guess it's the Netflix one you're having to rush through.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just 4 seasons of a show. So Halloween. Do you know like the setup to this?
This film is a sequel to Halloween 2,
No.
correct?
No.
Halloween...
1.
Oh, that's right, yeah, it's scrapping everything. No, I'd forgotten that, yeah. Yeah.
Which
Sorry.
I do kind of think is a shame because I actually quite like Halloween 2.
Yeah, it feels weird. I mean, Halloween 2 is definitely where, like, the original Halloween is
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see why they would ignore Halloween 2 because it is a weird one in terms of the fact that it, like, I don't know, it kind of like at the end of Halloween is the only bit where Michael Myers becomes a little bit supernatural, the end of the first one, where you're like, he's been shot a lot and he's
disappeared,
not dead. Yeah. Whereas Halloween 2 is very much like, aren't there like quite a few scenes where like he gets shot or exploded and then he walks out of it and you're like, well,
yeah.
But so I can see why they did it, but I also agree with you. I think it would have been, I think that's Halloween 1 and 2 are much closer together.
Well, Halloween 2 literally takes place following on immediately from the events of Halloween 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it I don't know. It seems odd that they've ignored Halloween 2. I can't remember though, because it's been like a couple of years since I've seen it. If Halloween 2 is the one that introduces the idea that they're related, or if that comes later.
I believe that is Halloween 2.
Right, so that's one of the things that they wanted to kind of scrub out of the kind of canon.
Yeah.
So there's like a line of dialogue in the new Halloween, which is like, oh, I heard they're brother and sister. And someone else is like, no, that's just a myth that was made up.
Yeah, I think that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that clip and I haven't watched the film yet.
Yeah. So, right, the first Halloween, one of my all-time favourite films. I love it.
Yep. Amazing film.
This, like I said, Halloween 2 is a good sequel. For me, this is on par with Halloween 2.
Okay.
So, it's good. I like what they've done for the most part. I love that they got Jamie Lee Curtis back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Halloween H2O.
I don't think I have.
So, yeah. Spoilers for Halloween H2O?
I watched a thing that was basically like a roundup of the Halloween story, all the films before this one.
Yeah.
Not this one, but they were like talking about like all the weird things that have gone on in the timeline in terms of other films just being like, no, that film that we did, that one doesn't count now. And,
yeah, exactly.
Cutting weird bits out.
Like in Halloween 6, which stars Paul Rudd, it's revealed that Michael is part of a like druid society, and that's why he can't be killed.
Yeah, which
just weird.
Just it's such a if you do that to the character, it completely changes everything and is just fucking needless.
Yeah, exactly. In Halloween H2O, it's the one where Jamie Lee Curtis reprises her role again. She recently came out in an article saying that she just took it for the paycheck.
Yep.
Fair. So yeah, in that film, she actually gets killed.
Yeah, is this the one where she has like an off-screen death? Like, isn't she in like a car accident or some bullshit?
No, she's in the film. I think she gets killed by Michael in it.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets killed by him, and it's quite early on in the film.
I can't remember. Again,
I believe from what I remember of the video I watched, it's quite early.
Yeah,
on
I watched them like a couple of years ago, just sort of in a very quick space of time. So they've also all just blurred. So yeah, it's great that she's back, and she is probably the best thing about this film, I'd say.
Yep.
They handle like the PTSD element to it quite well, I think, which is always like it's something that for me, with like my sort of like film studies background, especially in horror, I always used to like looking into things like the final girl theory and all this sort of stuff, where typically in slashers you have this virgin final girl who doesn't do the drugs and doesn't have sex, and that's why she has her wits about her enough to be able to overcome the killer.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you get sequels that show the kind of like trauma that would invoke, because
even though they survived, they're going to be so fucked up from the experience.
Yeah, exactly, because the final girl theory is all about like empowering these women, but the few films that do kind of go into the sequels do tend to touch on they either get killed very quickly, like in Friday the 13th, or they like suffer massively from it. So yeah, this I think does a good job of showing like someone having to like live this life that was so drastically affected by a traumatic event at a young age.
Yeah.
the setup to get to like Michael doing his thing again is a bit clunky, and there's a bit like awkward exposition. You've probably seen in the trailer, like the exposition to lead it all up is these two people doing a true crime podcast about the babysitter killers.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, that didn't quite work. And there's a couple of plot elements with like the teens in this that just didn't seem to really go anywhere.
Okay.
Which is a shame, but it has like all of the cool stuff you want from a Halloween film. It has like the tracking shots. There's a fantastic tracking shot of Michael Myers once he like gets back to Haddonfield.
Yeah. Does it have the music?
It does have the music. Yeah.
Good.
The other thing, so in the first one, you have Dr. Loomis, who's in a lot of the sequels as well.
Yep. Yep.
Obviously, Donald Pleasance is no longer with us. So they have like a replacement character, which they kind of say in like the canon of the film is his what's the word when you come after someone? Successor.
Okay.
Successor is the word I was looking for, I think. There's a really weird scene with the successor where at one point it seems the film is going in this very drastically different direction that I didn't like, and then it sort of brings it back to normality, which then just made that scene stand out even more as weird.
Okay.
I can't say what it is without spoiling things.
Yeah.
But I think if you saw the film, you'd be like, that's the scene that I'm talking about. It's the one part of the film that I really didn't like.
Okay.
The rest I thought was pretty good, and that like the last act is very, very tense. At no point is this film particularly scary, I didn't think.
Yeah, I mean, slashes are there. I was going to say that it's hard to make them scary, but then there's stuff like it is. But then there's stuff like what's the film with Sackhead? Not the home invasion one where the guy they all wear the masks.
Oh,
one of them's got the sack.
Strangers.
Head. That's it. Strangers. That's quite scary.
Yeah, that is.
And that's slashers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think making a slasher film scary is definitely harder than a lot of other types of horror.
Yeah. And so for me, anyway. Yeah, exactly. Same for me. So for me, it wasn't necessarily scary, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed like seeing these characters on screen again. 3.5 out of 5.
A lot of 3.5 out of 5, Liam.
Well, just this and Bad Times. First Man was just a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, mate. That's a lot.